happy to see all the guys that you saw 4 or 5 years ago playing for you back here.
That's one of the best things about being back is the opportunity to reconnect with guys that mean a ton to you. And this has been a good week. A couple guys stopped by that aren't here golfing now, but it's what means the most, really.
What has the transition been like for you? Has it been pretty seamless so far because of your history with the team?
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't say, even the guys that we knew, they're older. They've matured, and there's a lot of guys that didn't know, and I think as a coach, you need to know your players, and so that's been, it just takes time, and I've enjoyed that part of it, and even in the summer now with the new rules, you can be around them a little bit more. There's certainly aspects that make the transition smooth from being here, but there's a whole nother component that you just got to spend time with them.
You can't be around the team a whole lot these days. Is it tough to let go for a month or so until camp comes around?
No, now last year's when they put in the new rules where you can be around them, and I think it's important, in the summertime still for them to have time away from the coaches away from them, because it's a long season, and yet so June we've been spending time with them, and Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then July will be kind of they'll be on their own. It's an opportunity for the players to kind of develop the leadership amongst themselves, and then August 9th we get going.
How long until you start breaking down Alabama tape, or is that something that already begins for you in the coaching staff?
Yeah, we've been doing that, and not just Alabama, just get a chance to, even for myself, we played Iowa last year, but kind of get acclimated again to the teams you'll be playing, and so that was kind of spring and summer here, take advantage of that, and then certainly spend a little bit more time on the teams that we were playing early, because the film, you won't get much more film on them, so you got to have your plan. You got to be careful of playing too far ahead, because I think part of it's who are we going to be coming out of camp, so it's but you get a good idea. So that's already started, and it won't be here. It'll be here pretty soon. So
it was joked about at your press conference when you were hired about that Alabama was the first team out of the chute that you're getting. Do you like having a team having to jump right into the fire, so to speak, like that at the beginning of the season against a team like Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, I think every opportunity you get, you're excited for them, and I know our players are looking forward to it, and fans certainly are, and so it's I'm excited. And every game you get excited for, and every game you feel like you're kind of getting thrown into the fire. That's the way I've kind of approached it, but certainly there's a lot more buzz around this one.
I was going to say, is there even more excitement? Prime time, ABC, the big kickoff between you and Alabama.
I wouldn't say more. I mean, there's always, every team I've been a part of, a lot of excitement. And I think there's more buzz around it. But for players, you're starting a season. You only have so many opportunities. Hard to gauge, like this is more or less, but I know that guys certainly are looking forward to the opportunity.
As someone who has a long relationship with Bo Ryan, there was a story going around that was trying to say that Bo was going to announce today, sometime soon, his retirement. Would that shock you if Coach Ryan suddenly announced that he was going to retire as the coach?
I've had a lot of conversations with Bo. None of them been about that, but it's, I think that he does still have a lot of energy. I know that, and yet he's coached for a long time. But I wouldn't know. It wasn't the reason why he sold the house. I know that. So I'm glad he did sell it, but it's there wasn't any more than that on that one. So.
Paul, do you think satellite recruiting camps should be allowed, and do you see you guys maybe doing that at some point?
I think that right now, I think the trouble with them is that it's not equal for everyone. I was in the ACC, and you couldn't do them. You can in other conferences, and I think if you're going to do them, everything right now in the way the manual reads, there's certain rules for recruiting, there's certain rules for camps. And really, I don't know when it started, but the last, 5-10 years, camps have been a big part of recruiting. And so I think you just got to kind of take a look at it. And if that's what it's going to be, then it's got to fall under the recruiting. You get 168 days to spring recruit. And if you're going to do the satellite camps, it should be part of that number, or you change the number. I think that, you know, we talked about doing it this year. I think every year you're going to talk about making sure that whatever the rules are, you're doing whatever you can that's best for your program at the time. So it'll be interesting. There's been a lot more buzz about it this year than the other year, which usually means there's going to be discussion and therefore possible changes to the rules. I don't know. So kind of just wait and see what happens there. But it's, I think it's where the camps kind of blurred with the recruiting, which has been going on. You know, there's nothing illegal about it, but it's hard. I have a hard time thinking it's going to go with only some conferences being able to do it and others not.
Are you in favor of the early signing period for football, and would that help you guys out at all?
You don't know if it's going to help you or not. The thing that I was reluctant about was how it would affect the rest of the recruiting calendar, kind of the unintended consequences. And I think there's the initial thought was for those that are committed and truly know where they want to go, have them be able to sign early. And you can't argue against that. It would be good in a lot of ways. But, you know, I was also concerned about if you move it up too much and then all your visits are, you know, your recruiting calendar is set up for a February signing day, and you change that without changing other parts of the calendar. I think there's going to be unintended consequences that aren't necessarily better for recruits, staffs, you know, the whole thing. So I think they just need to kind of make sure they think everything through.
Well, were you surprised at all when Chryst decided to walk away from the game in Portland?
Well, I mean, I hadn't been talking to him. You know, my brother was with him. Chryst is he always has been a really fascinating guy to me, and a guy with a lot of depth, perspective, and kind of, you know, I was talking to some of the guys that were close with him, and we all kind of realized there's more to the. Everyone wants to put it into one little box and say this is what happened, and that's the beautiful thing about Chryst. You can't. And so I've enjoyed. You know, I've seen him a couple times, and he seems like he's doing really well. And that's at the end. That's all you want. You know, are they doing well? Are they? He's in. You know, he's going to take off for Europe and do some things that. Quite honestly, I'm excited to hear him say he's going to do, and he, like I said, he's got there's a lot of layers to him.
Kind of related to being in a box, he said the biggest surprise he had is people can't understand why he would give up money.
That's the best thing about him. You can't, and I like that they can't figure him out. Pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.